here. We are doing a 5+3 Fast Friday stream with challenges for everyone who has an established account on lichess. So not just subscriber challenges. We're going to take all challenges here from anyone with 100 games or more of rated games on lichess in non-bullet mode. So Modra. What's up, Asterbait? He's got all three emotes kicking in. JCS is here. No challenges yet. I've been so busy outside of chess with my private life. I've been tired. I haven't had time to check the Olympiad. So with all the other things I have to worry about, can you guys fill me in on what's going on in the chess Olympiad? Does anybody know? Apparently yesterday the United States, judging by the game we looked at, the United States beat Anand. The United States beat India. Sorry, not awake yet. United States beat India 2.5, 1.5. That's a respectable result. Of course, it's also like the minimum winning result, right? I mean, you can't win a match in a 4-game team championship by less than 2.5, 1.5. So likely Caruana won, and they drew the rest of the games. But India's a strong team. Credible result for the United States. I have to see how Hungary is getting on. They had a very bad start. My JCS hasn't been paying much attention. Shame on you. You're just like me. But it is a major event. Actually, I really enjoyed the years when I used to work for that other chess site, the Internet Chess Club. We used to do coverage years ago, and it was fun. I mean, probably one of my favorite tournaments to cover was the Chess Olympiad. So as far as doing like live commentary and stuff, that was honestly my favorite, one of my favorites. Lots of different players, and it's interesting in the team format. It's a lot more fun than just individual tournaments. I enjoy playing in team format too. I have two different teams here in Hungary I play in, the Budapest Team Championship and the Hungarian Team Championship. So guys, without further ado, let's get started. Let's get some challenges out there. 5+3. If not, I'm going to have to start seeking challenges like when I first started streaming. Just grabbing random people from the let's see, create a game tab. Wait, we can go to create a game tab. I know a lot of streamers like play in tournaments, but I would rather make the stream more personal, where I'm actually playing subscribers and stuff like that, and just anybody who's watching, viewers. It doesn't necessarily have to be subscribers, but as today is the day when I do the stream that's really designed for people who are not subscribers to get to play. But instead we get a subscriber. Bob challenges me to 5+3. Let's get it underway here. Open the window here. It's freaking freezing. I was complaining it was too hot, so now I can't constantly complain about stuff. Okay, Bobber. Where is the window here? All right, e4 to d5. Let's do something unusual. For me, I usually play the Sicilian first choice. Let's see how our lag is today. Roast Beef, thanks for subscribing. What did I just do? I just clicked a very stupid thing. I said lichess can make notifications on my Firefox. Wait, resigned? Okay, Bob had to go, I guess. Let's go to the next challenge. He just didn't like the Scandinavian? That's weird. Never had a one-move victory here on the stream, I don't think. You spilled your drink. Oh no, I hate when that happens. That's what I tell my son. No drinks next to the laptop, Bob. Alright. No, I don't mean to rub it in. Take your time. Take your time, clean up your mess there, man. You gotta clean up your mess, Bob. Highest Soltigo if you're... I didn't see Soltigo. I know that he's having trouble, so we wish him the best. He's not been feeling well. He pushed it a little too fast in his recovery from his previous surgeries and stuff. Alright, Baleful, we'll play our standard recipe here. Baleful, have you played B3 before? Anonymous, welcome to the stream. sort of anonymous. Anonymous. It's actually anonymous. So that's not the same thing, is it? I mean, if you think about it, why do I have to play bishop takes f3? We could just play like knight to d7. I don't think I've ever tried this, but it makes a lot of sense. I've exclusively played bishop takes f3 in the past, but there's also something to be said for this, because white doesn't have a necessarily good move there. Whatever. I don't have to double your pawns, but I should. I really should there, because now he has knight bd2. Alright. This could transpose. What am I doing? I'm going to drop a pawn. That's a little troublesome. This could transpose to, if he plays g3, bishop g2 later, it could transpose to a bishop g4 type of variation. What am I looking for? The word? Tory attack is the word I'm looking for. If I just exchange here, let's keep it simple. Keep it simple. Baleful is fast. We've given up our white squared bishop, though. That could be costly. It could definitely be costly later on. We've kept it very simple, but at the price of letting that bishop become a potentially dangerous piece. I know this because I played the King's Indian attack with white, and that can really make or break the position. Am I excited about the Red Sox? I don't know, man. There's just always... It's been a very weird baseball season. I mean, I have not that much confidence, basically. I mean, it comes down to a few games. This baseball, I guess a lot of sports are like that, but it just comes down to a few games. I mean, basically anything can happen. It's like the World Series of poker or something. Feels like that. It just feels kind of random. The championship of the baseball, it just seems kind of random, the playoffs and stuff. It's a few games. It's a small sample size. I kind of dread it because usually they go out. I mean, most teams are not going to win. Only one team can be the champion. And it's usually not your team. So for me, it's like I kind of dread the playoffs and World Series in baseball. All right, here I was looking at queen g5, but he plays e4 now. I think I can just swipe this pawn. Pitching is not that consistent from the Boston Red Sox. Now f5. This is risky, but I can always castle queenside in this position. That's my opinion. I don't know what's going to happen. They do horribly against the Astros. Like last year was disaster. I didn't really like watching them play the Astros this year. They struggled against the Astros. They also struggled against Cleveland. I don't know. I mean, I don't really like their matchups, who they can play. Anyway, this is probably a boring conversation for all the Europeans here. Baleful with castles queenside. It's like a crazy violent style of play. I had a guy who I played yesterday who was 1800, and just totally off topic, but this guy, was playing really, really well. He ended up playing 20 cent upon loss, even after a lot of mistakes toward the end of the game. And what was disturbing about it, later on when I looked at his account, he was 1800 in blitz, and he played 500 games. But the thing was, his tactics rating was 2700. Now, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that's normal? To be 1800 and have a 26 or 2700 tactics rating? Because that seems like somebody who's using an engine to do the tactics problems, and that's not really good, because that means that you're likely to use an engine for your blitz games as well. So I was pretty freaked out by that. Okay, let's just take this rook. I like rooks. And I was lost. The guy played like a genius, and it was a draw. But then I overpressed, and and he had this amazing study-like win. Then I hung my queen, and then I flagged him. I've ended up flagging him with like two pawns on the board against all of his pieces or something, and I won on time. But it's like, come on. But I wasn't confident enough to like report him as being a cheater. It just wasn't enough evidence. But honestly, if you have a 2700 rating in, oh no, what am I thinking here? A 2700 rating. This is a funny position. I guess I just play like f4. In tactics, I've never like seen anybody with that. I mean, only person that I know that has a higher rating than that in tactics is our friend, the international master, tricks only. That's kind of disturbing. 2300 tactics or 2400 tactics. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have that. They don't necessarily have to use an engine, but this guy's doing like 100 tactics problems a day, and he like got like, I don't know, every day he was scoring like 100 out of 108. And that takes a lot of time. I mean, if you really did the problems, right? Imagine how much time it would take to do that many problems, if you think about it. 100 of those tactics problems and solve 100 out of 108, like daily, like correct. I mean, that would take a lot of time, wouldn't it? I mean, it's one thing to do 100 problems, but that would take hours. It would take a couple hours at least to do that many problems. Unless you're using a computer, of course, to solve them for you, in which case it doesn't take any time at all. Yeah, it's pretty scary. I just hung the exchange. Oh my god. Alright, Baleful. You're an interesting player, man. I'm gonna have to play this now. Back again. There and back again. Like the Hobbit, he's so good. How did I beat you every game? I don't really understand. I got distracted and I dropped the exchange. Okay, that's a bad thing. But it takes forever to do that many problems. But I mean, I was very strongly inclined to report the guy for being a computer, based on one game, based on his. But I felt weird, like saying, "Hey, lichess, I reported this guy because his tactics rating is like 2700." I mean, you can't really say that's cheating necessarily. Damn, dude. How much better can Baleful play here? Can't be having rook f7. The thing is how quick he is, What's his bullet rating? He doesn't have a bullet rating? Baleful, how do you not have a bullet rating? The quickness of your play is, like, amazing, man. You got the quickness. The quickening. The quickness of his play. I don't know, if Baleful was a little more professional or something. It seems like he's too informal of a player. I don't know how to really describe it. He could be very, very strong, but he's like the proverbial informal player. His technique is excellent too for someone who's like 1800. He's quickly playing good moves here in this endgame scenario. I mean, this is just a draw, objectively. I'm not even up any material. I thought I was like up a pawn or something, but actually I'm not. So it's just a draw. Okay, I was totally winning. and I just got sloppy and hung the exchange on f7. But still, I mean, other than that, his play was very good. And the speed of play, I'm very impressed. Now, I don't think that white has any business playing for a win here, because technically you're a little bit worse with that passed pawn. That's a dangerous thing to do. I think you should take a repetition draw there. I don't really think realistically you're justified here playing for a win. If I was a weaker player, maybe you could think that. But I think it's risky since I have the outside passed pawn. Not really sure what he's trying to accomplish here. You could easily like lose. Maybe he's trying to lose. That would be helpful. Actually, rook g3 check. What's going on? We're making progress. It's probably still a draw. There's one way I could think about trying to win here. If I get my king in the game. He does have a5 check. No, he doesn't. I don't understand how he doesn't have any bullet games, because he plays every game like it's bullet, you know? That's really strange. He's got his king trapped on the side of the board, which wasn't really the best idea. I guess typically, you know, you normally want to put your pawns on the opposite color, but here it's a little tricky. I want to get my king across now. I get my king to the other side, he's not letting me. Oh no. He found a way to lose. Baleful, you could have had a draw, man. And I was willing to repeat, but you didn't want to draw. Alright. Anyway, it was deservedly a draw. I mean, that was a disaster that I dropped knight f7 though. Forgot. I even saw it and I forgot about it. My plan was to play here, and then I was like, oh yeah, the Boston Red Sox or something. Start distracting me with this stuff. Alright. Take your time. You know, that's our classic advice. Play a little bit more slowly, Baleful, especially in the opening, because that seems like your weak point, man. I mean, you want my personal advice? Your weak point's in the opening, and you need to take more time in that phase of the game. And I think your technique and the rest of your game is pretty good, you know, but for a casual player, you're extremely strong. But you need to take more time in the opening, because you're at a disadvantage in that phase of the game against a player like me or any kind of strong players. I think that's where you need to take more time. Don't get a bad position to begin with. So roast beef, let's play him. Just taking all the challenges with anybody. Yeah, my advice to you is to use more time in that phase of the game. You know, I know that some people have this problem with being behind on the clock. It's like a hang up. But if we're playing increment, that doesn't matter so much. Just keep that in mind. In a sudden death game, maybe it has more meaning. Using the Dennis system. IFC? What is IFC? Am I stupid or something? I've never heard of Dennis. Explain the pony as a nod. Sparkle Horse. We are bronies here, of course. What's up? I didn't say hello to everybody. Nils is here. Epithetos, who I haven't seen in a long time, is here. Infinite Flash Chess. JCS we saw before. So this is a full-fledged English defense. One of the few openings that I know a little bit about. The Dennis system is from a TV show. Oh. Alright, Dennis. I know some chess Dennises. Actually, my last opponent was named Dennis. Dennis Duran from Slovenia. Bishop d3, f5. Here we go. It's like a main line. Dare to take the pawn. Acerbate did that in a recent game I saw where he like let the guy take his g2 pawn, but in a totally inappropriate situation. Okay, now f3. f3 is not generally regarded as... Maybe f3 is a good move here, actually. I always get confused when I play this line for some reason. A million years ago, I had a game with white against Attila Sebe, and I lost. The only game I ever lost to Sebe. And that was like 20 years ago in an IM tournament, and I think I played white in a line like this. But I think instead of f3, against Attila, I actually played queen h5 check. I want to say queen h5 check, g6, queen e2. I think that's what I did, and it's not a great line. But for some reason, every time I play this, because I don't play the English defense that regularly like I used to, I kind of freeze up like a deer in the headlights, and I don't remember what I'm supposed to do. But I can't let him take on f5. I don't think I can let him take on f5 anymore and make a constructive move in this position. F takes e, queen h4 check. There are traps like f takes e, bishop takes e4. That doesn't work. I don't know, every time my mind just blanks out when I play this line for some reason. It's not often that you encounter white playing this. Knight h6 maybe? You could play knight h6, but it's not really an active move. It's almost never good to take c3 unprovoked. I don't remember what black's supposed to do here. I mean, we could play pawn takes pawn, bishop takes, but then what? This doesn't seem right to me. Seems like it's helping white. He gets a knight f3. He also can play bishop takes. Don't know what my intention is here. After bishop takes, knight c6. And then if d5, what the heck am I doing? It looks really a little dubious. I don't know why. Why do I have such a mind blank on this line? And I don't think like... I mean, I know that the main line I thought was queen h5 check or just queen e2 directly, I guess, in this position. You also see queen c2. Bishop takes e4, queen h4 check. Yes. But then he has g3. Okay, yeah, that's true. Bishop takes e4, queen h4 check. And then if king f1, bishop takes, and I take the pawn. So he has to take with the pawn. Okay. Pawn takes, thank you for the help. It's early in the morning and I'm confused. But pawn takes, bishop takes e4 is a blunder because of queen h5 check. I guess queen h5 check. g6, queen e5. That's kind of freaky too. You could also look at like pawn takes, bishop takes c3, b takes c3, bishop takes e4, queen h5 check, g6, or bishop takes e4, queen h4 check. That's good for me. Pawn takes, Maybe I don't know this line because it isn't a line. Pawn takes, bishop takes, e4, queen h5 check. That's the biggest problem, it looks like. But even that's not clear. Like queen h5 check, g6, queen e5, bishop takes g2, queen takes h8, bishop takes h1. That's probably good for white. Help him, chat. Bishops before knights. Roast beef is thinking here. Is it possible I don't know this because it's not a variation? As I said, I think I played queen h5 check Attila. Attila, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. The one game where Mr. Seba beat me. I've never beaten him. We have a lot of draws. And he did beat me in Rapid too once. My good friend. Seba was traveling a lot. Really obscure places. India, Iran. He's a world traveler, grandmaster. Fantastic. He's been in so many countries. He's probably been in like 50 different countries. Now, queen h4 check immediately allows g3. You know, and that really doesn't do anything. The question is bishop takes e4. And I'm concerned about queen h5 check. g6, queen e5. And then knight f6, bishop g5, something like that. Is freaking me out. What about knight f6 here? Speaking of bishop g5. Bishop takes e4, queen h5 check. I guess I can play king f8 there. What am I talking about? Then he just has bishop takes e4. So the queen h5 check is just totally messing me up. g6 and then queen e5. Serious problems. Okay, I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm down to 15 seconds. I guess we play bishop takes g2. If e5. But now, let's see. He can play bishop g5, castles. e5, bishop takes g2 again. It could get pretty crazy. This isn't supposed to be a variation, as far as I recall. 1570. My experience is that ratings don't mean too much here nowadays. Clock is funny. At least my lag is better since yesterday. I refreshed Firefox. I don't know if that's going to help. It's a little bit less laggy. And my ping has been pretty good here. 48, that's unheard of. So... I regret having to weaken my king side slightly with h6. White could have played bishop h4, which would have been a bit more testing, I think. This is fine. Structurally, we have a slight advantage. I was looking at queen g3, e5 for black. Stuffing up his position. I'm not sure if it's objectively sound or not. Wow. But anyway, I want to kill this bishop if I can. I guess he can play c5, sack a pawn there. But now he's got holes. It's like a good structure for black. Keeping the tension here. You have to admit he's playing very creditably for so-called 1500. also pretty freaking fast. Does it seem like an ordinary 1500 to you? Alright. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, he's pretty good for his rating. I just dropped a piece. Well, that was nice technique. He found that instantly. Dude, check him out, man. He's 1500, right? 1500. Yeah. The 1500 technique at the end was a little too good, man. For 1500. I think, honestly, that's a bit strange, dude. How quickly you found all the right moves at the end. Alright, man. You're not 1500. Whatever. That game was too good. Alright, let's go on to the next game. I dropped a piece in a winning position, but still, he played at least 2000 that game, like the whole way through. And at the end, he played like he was a 2000 player as well. In terms of how quickly he played, like found the perfect move, bishop d5 check, with almost no time. I mean, come on, dude. All right, knight f3, c5. He's got his little brother. He's like 2100 or something. Knight c6. Clearly, it was the little brother playing. Ten-year-old. This is his other account. I actually made the wrong move order here. I guess it's not that bad for black. The little brother's always stronger. It's like the Polgars and every other prodigy brother and sister thing, right? I mean, it's always the littlest one that's the strongest, dude. You didn't know that, Bob? They get stronger as they come up. The older brother's not stronger, man. The little one like gets more knowledge and like absorbs everything from the older ones. It's always the little brother, Bob. Okay, d6. I just dropped a piece. I totally thought he left a4 open. Just when I had a winning position, I lost the game. I mean, I think I might not have been winning, actually. It's very hard, but with outside pawn, in fact, I should be winning. I think I am winning that, but it's not that easy. And this guy is like playing this very subtle Korchnoi. Losing all my confidence here. Yeah, losing all my confidence after one loss, basically. And I had a bad game in the first game, too. Alright. H3 is a subtle move to play. I mean, that's like the book #1 move here. Does this guy have the other account? He's not here with the other account today. Alright, just one. What am I supposed to play on H3? I don't remember. Knight F6 is lame. We'll have to do something ridiculous like put my knight on A5 is what it is. Yeah, you never are allowed to let the little brother play on your account, okay? He's like 2,000. Clearly. But it's still no excuse for hanging a piece and losing a nearly winning position. My bad, I can always hang a knight. Oh man, it's so embarrassing just to drop the knight on A4. Why did I think that A4 was vacated when he played the bishop move? What did he do? He did like bishop D1 or something. And I, somehow in my mind his knight was like overloaded. This is really, really well played. I've had the same position with white against my friend Emil Salanci. Emil plays this with black, and I try to keep the tension, not play D5. H3 is a very useful move. Black doesn't have a lot of constructive moves here, and that's the point of white's like waiting setup basically. Don't let your little brother play anymore. That's all I can say. He's gonna have to get his own account because you didn't really play like you were 1500. All right, now you're fast and you saw a lot of stuff at the end there. I mean, the bishop D5. I almost got away. You know, most people would have blundered and gotten nervous and lost with white when I played like B5 or whatever. But instead, you found like the right move instantly. It's pretty upsetting. I'm expecting you to make a mistake and you just don't do it. You know, you're not allowed to do that. Too much composure for 1500 lichess. It's not fair. Why are people afraid of extending with D5? Yeah, because it's awkward, man. I mean, I put the knight on A5. This is a known position. It's not that easy to play in my experience. I have a million games Camel Culture with Salanci, and it's, you know, it's not that easy for white, actually. You know, you feel like, oh, I've got a lot of space, but in my blitz games where I played that, it's just not that easy. But I agree the D5 is probably critical. But then again, if he wanted to play D5, then maybe he should just straight up do it instead of playing H3. You know, I'm not sure. I've tried both. The Benoni has given people PTSD. That's funny. I don't know. If maybe it's just that people with PTSD are attracted to the Benoni. I think that's what it is. The first time I've lost to 1500 in a long time. At least he's a subscriber. That's all I can say. Wherever I get in Benoni positions, can't find a breakthrough that easy as white. Well, I mean, the Benoni structure is very clear. I'm definitely taking too much time here in general. This A3, B4 business kind of makes sense for him. Very professional. But as I mentioned earlier, anybody from Azerbaijan is likely to be a good player. It's kind of like such a strong chess country. Look at their Olympic team. What are they, like in the top 5? Okay, this square looks suspicious now, though. I guess he can always play knight d5 anyways, though. Let's say I play knight d5, he just does it anyway. It doesn't even have a sense to play knight d5. He's just going to go there no matter what. I guess it doesn't matter. Unless he has something crazy like b5 here. He could also take on c6, I suppose. I mean, the simplest continuation there for me would have been to play knight e5. Then he would have played knight d5 anyway. Then I would have probably taken it, and we would be in a similar situation here. His c-pawn's kind of backward on this line. Okay, I've been talking a lot. I got confused in the opening there. You guys are making fun of his rating. He's a 1500. Why are you thinking so long? Because I don't know the variation. Okay, knight c4. I guess I can always play b5 if I have to. I was calculating rook c1. I mean, if he plays that, it's definitely his little brother. I mean, knight takes b2, rook takes d7, knight takes d1, rook takes d7, knight c3, threatening bishop takes d4. This is where I left off my analysis. But maybe I shouldn't. I can always bail out with like b5 if I have to. USA versus Israel. Uh-oh. That's not an easy match. That's another one of those matches where the US will probably win like 2.5, 1.5. But you never know. I mean, if Leko can lose, anybody can lose. I'm not in book, obviously. This is a really amorphous position. He found rook c1 now. Really. Dropping a bishop with After I said that move, I'm like paranoid about everybody now. Everybody's cheating. All right. Rook c1, just a standard move. He has like 100 other moves, but I said that and he played it. Sure. Okay. Now knight c6, tactical tricks with bishop f3. This is my bailout variation. I'm just trying to play maybe to win on time or something. I didn't like that variation I looked at. Knight takes b2, rook takes c7. No, wait a second. Yeah, knight takes b2, rook takes c7, knight takes d1, rook takes d7, knight c3, like I said. I decided that wasn't good enough, especially after like saying the whole variation. So he probably already heard it, you know, and then there's not enough delay, you know. I'm playing, there's like no delay, so people can just like literally listen to what I'm suggesting. He has bishop f3 all the time, so I can't take the pawn. But he seems like a legitimately good player. 1945. After the last guy is 1500. I mean, if this guy's 1900, he's like a master. The Gelfand appears meme. You've been muting the stream, Turkey Farm? Yeah, because you guys can just hear what I'm saying. I mean, he probably heard me say that whole variation with knight takes b2. I would definitely mute the stream as well if I were playing against myself. Or if I was just playing against anybody, I wouldn't want to know what they were saying because of, number one, I'd feel guilty like you were helping me, and number two, it might affect my thought process negatively. Aggressive move, e4. I don't know. I don't think I'm actually threatening anything here. Are you threatening me? So, my only hope is to beat him on time. Queen b6 might just be a totally superfluous move. Yeah, it definitely messes up your thoughts. I mean, when I used to hang out with Gingy and watch him play blitz, and then every time I would make a suggestion, it would only mess him up. I mean, we've all done that. We watched a friend play and been like, hey, why don't you do this? You know, and then you're like, hey, why don't you do that? And next thing you know, you're just, you know, totally crossing wires and making the guy blunder. I mean, it's the too many cooks spoils the broth theme. So here he's got more tactics for me, it looks like. Everywhere I look, there's some kind of trick. So we'll just take the open file here. Oh, this doesn't even work. Instantly saw that. Wait, his knight is trapped? Maybe his knight is trapped. Actually, I didn't see this. I just realized it now. I didn't see this in advance. my deep calculations. Got to be careful he doesn't have some kind of trick here. Queen d2. Oh, he has bishop g4. Duh. Master had that move instantly? Like, really? Wow, dude. That's a really tough ending. His knight's still basically trapped. This is like my game with Arthur Bisgeyer once. It was just too many pawns. Too many pawns for the two pieces. But another impressive game. You know, White played pretty well. Mule Skinner's rating is like, come on now, with the 1700. Dude, I mean, that's absurd. Why is your rating 1722? You're like 2000 and everything else. I mean, are you berserking in blitz tournaments or something, Mule Skinner? This is getting embarrassing. I'm going to lose to another 1700. Wow, with Mule Skinner I have 179 games. You're going to be the first one to cross the 200 plateau. I don't know where Nefedov's been. He was doing pretty well for a while there. He's sandbagging intentionally. Yeah, I mean, he's here to win prizes. He's basically playing for money. This is so he can win money prizes on lichess.org. Now, wait a second. We've got to be careful not to let him... We've got to be careful not to let him play his favorite line here. What am I doing? C3 maybe? No, I don't want... Do I want to play C3? I didn't want to just transpose to the main line. Tarash. What am I supposed to do again? Knight f3, c5. Taking a lot of time. I'm not used to playing the 5-3 streams. I think that's what's messing me up here. I'm commentating like it's a 7-minute game, but I'm actually getting myself into really bad time pressure. I need to play like with less commentary in these 5-minute games. Alright, let's just play something. Deflated him. Deflated. I don't think I beat Nefedov in a while. You haven't got a chance to play him yet, JCS. He never plays in my Tuesday tournament. Tuesday must not be a good night for him. But he hasn't been on the stream much lately. Must be busy. He was here almost every stream in the old days. Lately, not as much. I have to ask him what's up. Best not to diverge your age here. Yeah, Bob. Bob is the main reason for that. Alright. C5. Sorry, Bob. I'm just kidding. What am I doing? Why am I playing this line? This is not what I intended to play. Maybe it is what I intended to play. Is this what I intended to play? He played f6. Whoa. What's up with that? Can I play like knight h3 or something? Doesn't look right. What do we do? We're like forced to transpose into the main line. So I spent like a minute trying to avoid the main line and I get transposed into it anyway. By the way, guys, it's funny. A funny thing happened yesterday. In the subscriber stream on Thursday night, we did dedicated, detailed analysis of Move 11's game with Boris Privman, FIDE Master from the Marshall Chess Club. And you won't believe what happened yesterday. After the stream, Move 11 went to play at the Marshall Chess Club, and you won't believe who he played. and you won't believe what the opening was. So like literally like move 11 went there, played the same guy in the same opening as we analyzed yesterday. I mean, it's sort of insane. So he was able to directly profit from our Thursday subscriber stream, and he actually improved and drew against FIDE Master Pridman. So, I mean, it's not like it's a big deal to draw with Pridman, but for him, I mean, he's only rated like 2030. So I think really not a bad result. Not a bad result, you know, coming out of an analysis that we did, and to improve and directly improve against the same opponent the same night that we analyzed the game. I think that's awesome. Mule Skinner is 1700 lichess, right? So this Queen C7, we had a game submitted. This exact variation last subscriber stream. Was that Turkey Farm? Who was it? Actually, no. It was another. It wasn't Turkey. It wasn't Take Back. Who submitted the game in this variation? So I haven't seen the game yet, but Move 11 said it was a draw. I mean, in the first game, I thought Pridman played pretty well, and Move 11 was lucky to find a trick to equalize, and then went on to lose the game a second time. But apparently yesterday was a draw, although White did have an advantage out of the opening. Man, what is going on here? Well, Mule Skinner is not 1722. I mean, he's letting his older brother play on his account, I think. And that's the only explanation for 1722 in Blitz. I mean, he's no way 1722. Maybe like 1722 FIDE, but not 1722 lichess. Last time I checked this position, computer gave it 0.00. What position are you talking about? Bishop f4 is normal. Where do you want to play bishop f4? He didn't let me play bishop f4. You mean like bishop f4 here? In which position? After bishop d6? Truthfully, bishop f4 is just one of many moves, and I'm not sure it's the main line. No clue. He's going to sack an exchange? Yeah, he did. Wow. Craziness. Knight f4 check. Just your standard 1722 player on lichess. Bishop f4 on move 8. Is that what I was talking about? Move 8 after f6? Seriously? In this position? That would be very different from what I did. I'm not enough of an authority, you know. I've never played the Tarash with white or black in a tournament game, so the Tarash is just an experimental project for me. I've played the white side of the winnower and knight c3 in tournament games, but I've never played knight d2. So it's purely in the experimental stage. Yeah, I try to make it productive. I mean, I'm not here just to like show you how cool my bullet skills are. I just want to get something out of this too, and like a kind of constructive class-like structure is best. I don't think it's like a class though. So Bob is making me sound like it's a class. We don't want it to sound like a class necessarily. E5. Oh my god. You're hanging the bishop on h2 with discovery. Dude, are you serious? Why can't I take that? Oh, e4 check, duh. What if I take on g6 first? I don't know. Wait, he's setting up queen d7? My friend Balázs plays here. His name in Hungarian is Don't Be Stupid. That's kind of like what I'm capable of doing here. Bishop takes g6, queen d2, or queen d7. Arsenal fan is watching. Alright, let's screw this. Let's attack. That's what subscribing is, Bob? Turzo Attila. How long has Turzo been streaming here? Alright. I mean, Turzo's fine, but he's not as cool as me. That's the main problem. But then again, most people aren't, so can you do? I mean, it's one thing to be good, but it's another thing to be handsome and cool too. We've got it all here. And no ego at all. I'm planning on taking on g6. That was my main plan, was to play bishop takes g6, but I didn't like the smell of queen d7, like basically like checkmating me on h3. So rook h1 takes care of that while we have attacking chances down the h file. He played knight f4 check. I mean, this looks like black is going to come under a lot of fire. I'm not sure it matters which way I take, objectively, because we might end up exchanging twice no matter what. I mean, shouldn't I have bishop takes g6 or something? Yeah, but it doesn't work directly. I'm just trying to make a quick move here, folks. Probably not a good one, though. Oh. He should have played, just like, defended his pawn. Klopper friendly. He just resigned. So what's really going on in this game? I mean, I don't know if queen c5 was a good move. I'm curious. I was like, oh, I'll centralize my queen. Because I can't play bishop takes g6 after all. This is the position, right? I don't see this working. Because I don't want to trade queens. I looked at rook e1, but I didn't think it was enough. It turns out that's quite strong. Queen c5 might be a good move. But I thought he could just protect d5. It's not that bad, actually. Bishop e6, and I'm not clearly winning. My first idea was rook h6. What happened in the opening? Wow. What? So not bishop f4 here. That's a very rare move. Though not to say it's not possible. Suggestion of that. Just out of curiosity, so bishop f4, no, this is main line. Castles, queen c7, bishop g5 is main line. Castles. Now bishop h4 is the main line. I played the second main line with rook c1. And here Mule Skinner went off with knight h5, which looks to me like a violation of principles. Like you're not developing your pieces. So only queen c2, only played in 2 games. Knight g3, knight c3, bishop b1, all more common. Queen c2, very rare. And ironically, like these guys played h6 here. Well, I guess that's logical, actually. G6 tempts me with these sacrifices. It was a good game, Will Skinner. But this was dangerous to take on H2, I suppose. I missed bishop takes G6 now. But I thought he had queen D7. Oh my god. This doesn't do anything because I can take this? What? It's the mate that's not a mate. I'm afraid of a mate that's not a mate. Good. Okay, Dracofire's up next. But Will Skinner, very competent player. He's sandbagging his blitz rating here. So far I've lost only one game. Should have drawn the first one, and that one was kind of shaky, so our games are very, very shaky. Usually that is the case, though, early in the morning time. There's a big difference. When I start the stream, when I end the stream, I'm usually playing well by the end of the stream. Dracofire C5 is so boring. Let's try something different and weird. Thank you guys for subscribing, and Master Fuku is back in the United States. You'll see him, our Blowfish mascot. He's actually on the overlay in the bottom left, if you see there. So we got 3 animated characters. Well, they're not really animated. So knight there. What can we do that's different than usual? Try to play a Dutch sort of thing. But anyway, it's basically just a closed Sicilian. I feel like it's Wednesday, huh? I hate the closed Sicilian. Why am I playing it? I like the Dutch Leningrad. I'd like to play. I always wanted to play the Dutch Leningrad with black, but nobody allows it. I mean, they'll either play the anti-Dutch or the Staunton Gambit or all kinds of different stuff. You never actually get to play the freaking opening that you're trying to play. It's just a closed Sicilian reversed. Boring. I've played this with white a lot, you know, and it's not very fun for either side. Okay, let's try to do without do without e5 perhaps. Try to play creatively, so to speak. The bird opening reversed. But he did play c4. It's in English. It's a closed English, okay? I'm not going to try to pretend it's another opening. I can't be a Dutch until white plays d4. Because if he does play d4, he would end up playing the Dutch with his knight on a kind of semi-lame square. I suppose a fully playable system for white, though. Guys, listen, I have a simul on Sundays, most of you know about, 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. That's European time. 6:30 p.m. CEST, excuse me. A lot of pawn moves here. The h6. Knight h3, knight f4, knight e5. Yes, that's called the Carlsbad variation. And I've won a lot of games with white in that system. I beat Huang Trong once. I beat John Curto several times. Some Leningrad players. Yeah, that is one of the best systems against the Leningrad Dutch infinite flash chess. A lot of times the ideal is that white doesn't castle and he plays very quickly h4, h5. But I have an excellent score, to be quite honest, in those systems with white. Alright, we're going crazy here with this maniacal kingside expansion. It's more like my youth. I used to play closed Sicilians like this against the English. This is probably just dubious for black to try to play this g5 so quickly here. We're not letting him have a knight in f4. Not yet, anyway. We're playing against knight in f4. What did I say yesterday? Anand played g5 against Caruana. and that's why he lost. Ponda hasn't even said hello today, so I'll give him a chance. Hey, what did I say yesterday? This is exactly what I was talking about. Do not play g5, okay? You're supposed to play h5 because h5 weakens less squares than g5. When you play g5, you weaken 2 squares. When you play h5, you only weaken 1 square. Okay? Come everybody for the Sunday Simul, 6:30 p.m. CEST, 20 players, 30-30. Time control on Sunday. Okay? So that's the Ponda. Rook e1, a very strange move in some respects. It looks like black is trying to set something up along the file here. Although he's play on the e file, he's also reducing his defensive prospects on the f line, so it's controversial. This, however, is not quite as controversial. Okay, I've got to be careful. Queen b3 is on the way. We've basically upped the screwed here, I think. That's the nature of the beast, though. We can afford to give that up. Nature of the beast. Now, Queen e2 could be a problem. Alright, let's develop a piece. I mean, I just let it rip, I think. Wow, dude. Dracofire. Trying to kill me. Not afraid. That file's nothing. No big deal. That's perfectly okay. Wow. It's just no problem. That's the important thing. Try to get some random number of queens on the board. Very instructive. Useful. We sacked a pawn for activity here. Am I missing something? He's going after that pawn there? Wow. Absolutely fearless. I mean, very, very aggressive play by white. Bishop e3, rook e8, take. Wow, sacked in exchange. Pretty random. I thought he would just play like rook takes b7 or bishop e3. Rook takes b7 was a little bit risky, but bishop e3 looked kind of solid. I just didn't see his rook getting trapped on e7. How can I possibly trap it? Well, in this case, he gets some pawns, but I can take on f2. Or worse. This f-file was my one concern from the moment that he played like rook e1. Typically when I'm white, because I played the white side of the Dutch a lot, I'm very concerned that my rook on f1 needs to remain there to protect that f2 point. Now this isn't like a knockout blow. You know, he's totally still in the game, but it's chipping away at his king safety. Knight takes g7 or rook takes g7 is definitely not the right move. As I said, he could have played bishop e3, for example. That was quite solid. Okay, it's a fast game. Bishop has nowhere to go. Where does my knight go? Where's Asterbate? By the way. Seems like his kind of position. Knight's going through g4. Mate's in the air here with like queen h5. Now, I don't know. This looks very bad for white. Rook d7 maybe to start. There is this bishop e4 check. It could be disruptive. It's not a check though. Never mind. That's my queen, not my king. That's embarrassing. Alright. That is a queen on g6. It can check my queen with bishop e4. Yeah, Astrobate likes caveman chess. He would like this position. This would be sound by his standards. What I did here. Okay, but this is overwhelming. Just in terms of pieces, you know. All my pieces are in the game. And I've got the extra rook, so it's pretty bad for him. Basically everything wins. I'll have an everything bagel. That should procure a bishop. So it wasn't sound. I'm basically playing unsound chess in this game. This h6, g5 nonsense. I think he had a really good game. He was just close to winning, objectively. But I mean, you never know. I mean, rook e1 was a kind of weird move. Wow, the computer says I have a tactic here? No. So I should have exchanged. Yeah, that makes sense. I should have exchanged on e4 probably, rather than let him open the file here. This was bad. But maybe he pushed the envelope a little too quickly. Bishop takes e6, queen f7, queen e2 is best. I don't have enough compensation, it looks like. Get the band hammer ready. Uh-oh. Why? Why don't you play some music? Okay, music is like talking politics in the stream, dude. You either like make some people happy or make other people really pissed off. And everybody can just like listen to whatever music they want. I mean, you know, it's like sort of weird. Knight a6, queen e2. This is actually kind of interesting. Rook takes e7. Why would I have the band hammer ready? Do I want to know? Bob? So I don't think the music is really my thing. Rook takes e7, queen g6. So computer just doesn't buy this at all for me. d4, and it says I'm just totally losing. Knight d3, queen e6 check. I have to admit to completely missing that. So apparently has this. I saw just bishop e3, but even stronger is queen e6 check first. Ooh, and then he can just play bishop e3, even bishop e4. So he's totally winning. Not a good Dutch. No, I mean, I don't want to say the idea is totally stupid. I know a lot of streamers use music, but I think it just polarizes people. Some people hate the music you choose. Some people like it. It's what am I doing? I feel like I love music. Something's crazy going on with my Twitch stream. Got to reload it here. What did I just do? All right. So, where is my stream? I've got 54 viewers. That's cool. Sunday we're going to do a simul, guys. It's going to be the usual weekly simul. Can't get rid of a weird window here. Why won't it go away, window? Go away. Window, go away. Please go away. Oh, man, the thing is just making me crazy. How do I close that window? Alright, I don't know. Am I lagging? Alright, let's play another game, guys. 5+3. Very bad game. If you see me playing the Dutch, not a good sign. But I still don't understand why. Let's listen to some Sparkle Horse so we can be depressed. I have a follow from him. I see. Okay. Let's give him some more national attention. Testosterone. Another 1700. He's a tough guy, though. Um, you're a tough guy, but I'm a crazy guy. Knight f3. What TV show is that? Is that from? Let's play the Sicilian. Music is for chess streams that lack content. Alright, knight f3, c5, e3, g6. I think the lag is starting to kick in now. 88, wow, we've got a good ping, but it always feels like I'm just dragging the pieces and they're stuck to the screen or something. I know I've got a troll follow, but what can we do about it? If they come in and start talking, we'll kick them out. Can I do? Caruana versus... if I play d5, we have reverse Caruana Anand. I'm a savage. I don't know if you're talking about chess or in real life. But, yeah, I mean, no, it's due to my computer, probably. I'm not 100% sure, you know, but I think my internet is okay. I'm trying to move twice in a row. Something I have, as you might have known if you've seen my stream, I've actually played tournament games where I tried to move twice in a row, and it did happen twice. Once was a very funny incident, and the second time I just kind of like, haha, look, I tried to move the piece twice and we just blew it off. And I was like, sorry, okay, I'm just kidding. But the first time the guy was like really upset by it. Charlie Hurtan wrote an article for Chess Chow magazine, Joel Benjamin's now defunct chess magazine, about the incident where I tried to move twice. He didn't write the article about that incident, but he included the incident in the article. When we went to Hastings like 20 years ago to play in the Open there, I did this. I've told the story a million times, so I'm not going to tell it again, but I just think that I keep trying to make like 2 moves in a row here, but that's nothing because I've done it in tournament games. This is interesting. You're basically playing this. I like how that dude wrote a book called E3 Poison or whatever it is. I mean, it's sort of silly. It's totally harmless system for white. Unless you're like Mamajarov playing against Gelfand. We should leave the Dutch to Simon Williams, I think. No doubt. Magnus is probably the first player to play the Dutch as world champ since Botvinnik. Karpov wouldn't touch it. Kasparov wouldn't play it. Spassky probably wouldn't play it. Fischer wouldn't play it. I mean, it is something actually Fischer probably would have played it well, actually, but you know, he's kind of like Larson in that respect. He could play any kind of hyper-modern system well. And I think a King's Indian player. But it's funny, yeah, I mean, Botvinnik preferred the Stonewall, and yeah, I mean, has any world champion ever played the Leningrad Dutch? I don't really see why not. At the highest level, it seems playable. I mean, Kasparov has probably played like Bishop G5 on move 2 with white. That would be his choice, I guess. This is basically a Benko we're playing here, where white has this totally passive formation. Anand, is it commonly believed that Anand was not a world champion on the level of Carlsen or Kasparov? Well, not too many people are, right, Bob? But what can you say to that question? There's a lot of people. I mean, you know, Max Uwe is like the world champion who always got a lot of Then you got to count the FIDE knockout world champions like Ponomarev and was it like Halifman? I mean, then we can really, really make fun. But I mean, the problem was that there was no challenger for Kasparov. There was no better challenger than Anand for Kasparov, essentially. So Testosterone is just going to be playing a mainline Benko here, like down a tempo or something, which was probably not that bad. Actually, he's a good player in the opening. He's like an expert. He's the opposite of Baleful. His openings are like master level, but in the end game, middle game, he's a real 1800 or 1700 or whatever. The anti-Baleful. If you guys could combine yourselves into one person, where Testosterone plays the opening and Baleful plays the rest of the game, they'd probably be like a master. Yeah, I mean, I don't really count, but it doesn't matter what I count or don't count. Does it even matter, like officially anything? Nothing matters. What opening called, that doesn't matter. The names of openings, also irrelevant. What are we doing here? So he defended his pawn that wasn't really attacked. We're rolling out the Benko. I had the student who played the Benko, and the guy was really nice. And he was always like, we worked together for like over a year, and then like one day he like just stopped messaging me, and he never contacted me since. And it was really weird. He was always like, "Oh man, I really appreciate you," and then he treated me like I was his like ex-girlfriend or something. People are strange. Okay, rook b8. But anyway, by teaching him for a long time, it made me kind of appreciative of the Benko, because he was the only person kind of keeping me connected to this opening. Fun fact, Shirov never beat Kasparov in classical. Did Morozevich ever beat Kasparov? Kind of, I would lump them into the same category. Crazy attacking guys. Try to play knight g4. Is this even appropriate here? Don't treat your chess coach like your ex-girlfriend, okay? Okay. Look at this move. Knight d2. Whoa. You're not supposed to be allowed to play that. Your 1700 license is going to get revoked. I'm hereby revoking your 1700 license. Damn, dude. This is a fantastic move. There's knight takes f2, queen takes f2, but unfortunately you can take with the king, so it doesn't work at all. I mean, I could sack a pawn for a piece. Sack a piece for a pawn. I'm dyslexic, and I only developed dyslexia in my adult life. Knight takes f2, king takes f2, bishop d4, check. King moves, and then like, what am I gonna do? Bishop takes c3, and I have two pawns for a piece. This is ridiculous. Crying out loud. Now I'm just worse. How can anybody who plays this well have this score against me? Who plays this well? Testosterone. Now this move was weird. Admittedly, this is like kind of a cheap shot or something. That doesn't seem appropriate. Doesn't seem appropriate. It forces me to make an awkward move. Probably I should play rook a5 there instead of rook b6. He can only possibly lose on time. Yeah, tell your coach to remain friends. Knight a3. Basically getting crushed here. Down a pawn for nothing. Don't really have enough compensation for the sacrificed pawn. Maybe. The knight's nice on c4. Can I do this? Our only hope is... Yeah, it's ironic, and the troll comes and makes like a kind of relevant contribution to the discussion. It's just ridiculous. Even the trolls in my channel are constructive. Got our pawn back. Not a good structure for white. This happened once when I was playing my friend Javier Moreno. This pawn on c5 is really powerful. Actually, against Javier, I think I had a like c pawn on c2 or this is a protected passer. No, it must have been there. I don't know. There was no. I just didn't have a b pawn, I guess. Something totally different. Uh-oh. Just allowed a tactic, it looks like. Now he has rook e1 and knight takes c5. This is probably a major blunder. The rook e1 he might be alright. Ironically. Okay, I can play f5, but that's not a move I necessarily would have played. It just really weakens my position. What am I going to do after f5? I mean, this is a strange move. f3. Do I have something here? I have this in between move. I never would have found that in time. Today's the day of bad positions. Knight f3. Yes. Don't play any c3. Close Sicilians, please. The S villain. So I've been trying to play this a6 and learn this O'Kelly Sicilian. It doesn't have total independent value though. White has a lot of ways to transpose to kind of annoying stuff. Did I already play this against you? We played this against a bunch of people. Tushar. Yesterday I had a game with knight d3 also. Tushar is the only one who played the best move, I guess, bishop c4 here. I had the exact same game yesterday with black. d5, bishop d2 was played. And that position, ironically, after bishop d2, there's only a couple of games, maybe 2 games in the opening explorer. Black is equalized completely, but it's not clear what the best move is. I played a game with the... This is with the 1800 who's 2700 in tactics trainer, where I had to flag him in a lost position. Yeah, bishop d2, d4 was my choice. This exact position. Bishop d2, d4, knight e2. And now instead of bishop takes d2 as I played in the game, the engine said queen e7, just kind of keeping the tension. Okay, queen takes d5, bishop d2. And I don't know if I like that. I guess white's not that bad there. Let's play it this way. We force a structural defect in white's position. We can force more weaknesses now. Queen a4. That's h4 arsenal. Queen. I'm dyslexic and I read the board the wrong way. I guess that's the same. Is it possible to become dyslexic in your middle age? Is that normal? I thought you either had it or you didn't. I never had any dyslexia till recently. Probably a bad sign. Wait. Just ignore what I said? There's Medina syndrome. What did you say? Now I want to see what you say. Ivanchuk, the most talented. Yeah, a lot of people say that about Hubner, that he's the only openly gay grandmaster, but that's impossible, dude. I mean, there's got to be. I haven't done any research on it, but Hubner's also interesting. He's a papyrologist or whatever. He's like an expert in ancient scrolls and stuff like that. Larry Christensen told me a funny story about Hubner. He said that somewhere Hubner went to a tournament and being an expert on these scrolls or whatever, they asked him to, papyrus or whatever. So they asked him to like decipher some kind of papyrus somewhere, and then they showed it to him and he examined it and after a while he explained to them like they were holding it upside down or something. It's very stupid. Like he just dissed them completely. Oh, you're just not even like looking at it from the right side. Hubner, great analyst. The S villain, is it me or does he remind us a little bit of, I mean, I know they're from neighboring countries. S villain's from Serbia and Baleful's from Croatia, but they have a similar style. They play fast, inaccurately in the opening. They're about the same rating, and then their technique is like pretty good and they're pretty tricky. They're like strong amateur, sort of self-taught players. Sarawan. His voice. Bob, where are you going with this? He says, Bob says that Sarawan's voice is sensual. An interesting adjective, Bob. Part of me wants to play bishop h3. Let's just do it. Don't be afraid. Obviously, Sarawan's there to look good. Jennifer's there for the analysis. That's what I always thought. Wow, okay. So Anonymous, aka Baleful, he said, I'm just getting started. I'm around 4 months in chess. That I did not expect you to say. I honestly thought you're like... I figured you were some like middle-aged player who has been playing like with their friends in the cafe for like 10 years or something. Just didn't have a lot of formal knowledge about the game. So I'm surprised by that, Anonymous. I totally misread you. King f2, very, very strong practical move. Good decision. Best place for the king to be. And I have to be a little bit careful here. But I think I have to have faith and confidence in my position. We had a similar game with S-Villain before, in the same kind of structure, if I recall. 2100. Well, I mean, maybe he's talking about on lichess, not like... He lives in Croatia, so I don't think he has a U.S. Chess Federation rating. 2100 FIDE is pretty high. So you did play chess as a kid. No, I expected you to be like an experienced like player who played a lot like with friends live or something, or in Eastern Europe people play in the cafe in the park. There's probably a lot of places you could play chess outside of just the internet. In somewhere like Hungary, Croatia, Serbia. It's not like he's from a non-chess country. Don't give away your age or Bob might stalk you. Okay, knight d2, queen check. It's a trap, basically. The problem is if I play f5, I get kind of stuck out there. The knight on c6 is not participating in the battle. Let's just pull the trigger on this. I don't see my bishop actually famous last words. I don't see it getting trapped. And although I'm cutting it off, I'm doing a lot of other good stuff. Collector of souls and other cool things. Now next stage is to make sure there are no surprise checks. Oh, your brother's a FIDE master. Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about. His little brother. Little brothers are always stronger. Well, chess is a lot easier to learn now because of the internet. And, it just takes too much time to go to the park and find an opponent and play 100 games like in the old days. He's quick. Jennifer's here. There was a time when Jennifer used to visit the stream, but I think it might have been a different Jennifer. It was very sympathetic, Jennifer. This one looks kind of mean. All right. Wow. C3, how does that work? I could just take that? Seems kind of weird. Where is he going after that? I don't know where he's going. I don't think he has a plan here. He's just kind of freaking out. All right, you're on a very shaky ground there, Jennifer. Bob's always on shaky ground. Now I have to be the moderator while I have 40 seconds left. Seriously, don't do this while I'm in time pressure, Bob. Try to control yourself. It's looking like Esfilin just got kind of carried away here with semi-random plans. We're up a pawn. This is going to be game over. I'd say he gets a little bit nervous in the opponent's time pressure, which is a common theme. That's it. Good Lord, Bob. Try to control yourself. You know it's not the real Jennifer. Maurice was here briefly. Yeah, this is like last year. There was this one player, kind of like sympathetically, would always pretend to be Jennifer Shahadi, who actually, I wouldn't call her a friend of mine, but I mean, we're on good terms. We've always been on good terms. Although I haven't seen her in years. The last time I quote unquote saw her was on like a Poker Stars Sunday Million we were in the same table, like on the same table, very deep in a Sunday Million tournament. It's like, hey Jen, what's up? Um, she got knocked out before me. That was like a fairly deep run where I finished in the top, like in the last 100 on a PokerStars Sunday Million. But that was probably like 6 years ago, 5 years ago. I have not seen her since. Bishop e7. I'm playing the Grunfeld. I don't really know why. Just like to play the Grunfeld sometimes, even though I don't know it well enough to play it like in a tournament format. Let's say I did occasionally play the Grunfeld early in my career, but I wouldn't consider myself knowledgeable enough to play it in serious games. Okay, d takes c5. This is a boring variation. I think that Stockfish actually recommends knight a6 here. Let's try it. I've actually literally had this position, but I've played d takes c4. That's the safer approach, to just take here, but it's totally symmetrical. It's a lame variation for white, so I'm trying to be aggro here. Computer claiming that I have compensation for the sacrificed pawn. It's not that obvious to the untrained eye that black isn't just down a pawn in this position. We're probably going to be pretty active to prove our compensation. Mega Knight, I've only played once. I know nothing about him. a6, b6. Today is like the day of people who are like 17, 16, 1500 who play really, really well. Oh, you think Bob is you think Jen is actually Bob's alt account? That's possible. You're good with the paranoia there, Infinite Flash Chess. I should have thought of that first. You think lisps are not typical for professional broadcasters? Wow. I don't know whatever gave you that idea. Looks like Mega Knight might be in trouble. Knight e4. But maybe we're just winning our material back here. What if we try for more? Knight takes d5, in fact. Knight takes d5. Knight takes d5, bishop takes a1, pawn takes c5. What am I getting? I'm getting a rook and a pawn, and I'm giving up 2 pieces. That doesn't seem healthy. Knight takes d5, and we didn't even talk about bishop takes d5. Strange. So I have to do knight e4, bishop e2, knight takes d5 there. I mean, something's got to be good here. White is overextended. I also have knight takes c3, bishop takes c3, rook c8, just stacking up on the c file. That's probably good for black. Under no circumstances am I worse here. Is there any reason why you're listed as Bill on some websites? Well, I mean, you know, the president, Bill Clinton. Basically, Will and Bill they're like interchangeable nicknames for the name William. A lot of people just will automatically call me Bill. For an American, it's probably the most common nickname for William. When I was a little kid, people called me Billy, which was, you know, Bob will probably pick up on, because it kind of always annoyed me. It's very like diminutive and childish. I don't mind what you call me, but the Billy is kind of, people use that to kind of tease me. I never liked that one. All right, let's see. Knight takes c3, knight takes d5. We can just win our pawn back at the cost of a very symmetrical position. Rook c8. I was looking at knight takes d5 here, then bishop takes d5, bishop takes d5, queen takes d5, knight takes c3. That's probably interesting. The danger is that we could reach some kind of symmetrical position where it's just totally no game. You know, I have to be careful I don't walk into that. Rook c8, knight takes e4 allows everything to just come off. Knight takes d5. Bishop takes d5. Bishop takes d5. Queen takes d5, I said, right? That's the line that bothers me the most. I don't know. But Bob, you enjoy every minute of it. Bishop b2. Can I do anything crazy like knight to g4? Really, what does that do? Okay, I have no clue. Mega Knight 6. I don't remember the last game. Our first game. Well, he got mauled with that attack there. So I beat him convincingly in the first game. I'm here for your personal amusement. Bob, you like it. You like being the focus of attention. Bishop takes b2. Rook b1. Nah, I think he made a mistake. He should have played bishop takes d5. It would have been a lot cleaner. Now I keep the bishop pair, and I think in so doing, I keep some kind of long-term advantage. Rook b1, even if I just retreat back to like g7, I have multiple threats. This is unprotected, and he has to deal with forks on c3. So he's going to have to be very cautious here how to solve these tactical problems. On the plus side, he does have the b4 pawn protected, so maybe he can simply find a way. I mean, there's the fork on c3, and there's also the knight hanging on e4. I'm doing this to survive. I have to feed the pawn, Bob. Not by choice. It's not by my own free will. Listen, Bob. He asked to stream so he could feed his pawn the family. He doesn't like doing this. It's brutal. But he does it because he has to. Okay? Bishop g7 with the double bishops. Put the bishops on long diagonals and take things, as one friend of mine said. Order some pizza. Knight takes pawn. It sounded like Bob ordered some pizza. Knight takes e3, pawn takes e3, bishop takes e4. Gotta watch for like tactical shots. He's gonna have a lot of pressure against f7. Let's see. Queen d8, rook d8, fe, bishop takes e4, and now knight to g5 with a triple attack against f7. I'm not sure this is the most accurate, but maybe it doesn't make a whole heck of a difference which way we do this. Black's going to have some compensation, I guess, no matter what I do. Wow. Mega Knight. Mega Knight will have... he took the wrong way. You had to take with the other rook to keep the F line. Even so, he has compensation here. Maybe bishop h6, knight g5, bishop h6, knight takes e4, bishop takes c3 check. Move the king, takes on c1. Try to play that position. Kind of a weird decision, but I have 4 against 2 on the king side. Man, Mega Knight is pretty good for 1699. Is he not? I'm saying that about everybody. I know Infinite Flash Chess. Everyone is cheating, including you. Now I can pin it and win it. But I mean, this is a much more difficult position for white than for black. Again, I draw parallels to my game with Arthur Bisgeyer, the classic ending, where the two knights are just, sorry, the two pieces are just so hard to coordinate. Maybe I should go with the pawns first. I don't know. King first. Smooth order. Mega Knight playing suspiciously well. And like instantaneously too. Wow, he's got 1:46 and he's played like a genius. He missed that move probably. What, King D4, what could he do though? Not so easy. He's played this really well and really fast, but I think he's still in trouble. I shouldn't have brought my king out. I should have pushed the pawns first. There was some difficulty there, undoubtedly. I shouldn't have allowed him that. Now we're not quite winning yet. I could easily blunder a piece, like I did earlier today. Hung my rook on, was it a rook? No, it was a knight. Hung my knight on A4. But everybody's played tough. You used an opening? Oh, he admits cheating now. Wow, there's a defense there? Oh my god. Dude. He's 1699? 1426 in bullet. Damn, he's gonna like run me over on the clock. How can you be 1400 in bullet? You're almost flagging me here. I'm winning, but I mean, it was close. I could have easily blundered. Bob admits to cheating in our first game. Takes a big man to admit. It's a good thing you're not running for the Supreme Court, Bob. You wouldn't be allowed to admit the truth. That's another story for a political channel. Alright, the connectors look good. I'm going to drive this king back. And then try to keep clear of that bishop, because I wanted to hang my rook on A2 at several different points. We always want to hang our rook if possible. He's just not attempting to stop these pawns. Knight D5, King D4. It's over. Didn't really understand what you're doing. And you still... Look at that. He's got the trick. Guarding B1. But Mega Knight is like 1699, but he's very, very tricky. How can you be 1400 in bullet? Seems like you would automatically be like highest in bullet, because you've been quite fast. Your bullet underrated. This wasn't that easy at all. You found Rybka versus Rybka in the lichess Masters database. Well, it might be one of those, what do you call it? Yeah, that's descriptive. One of those centaur tournaments, like where people play in tandem with the computer, most likely. Don't play with your food, Bob. Alright. How much time do we have left, guys? 30 minutes. No stalemates. We could promote like multi-queen. I found a pre-move. Another pre-move. I'm good with the pre-moves. That was... Let's check this out just for kicks. I want to see when I played knight 6 in the opening, because this is like, I want to say rib now. Vasek Rylik sent me an email the other day. He was here in Budapest, but I didn't have time to meet him. Knight a6. So I think that's the #1 move from the engine. Let's see what it says. Why is it only giving one line? So I refreshed my browser settings and it changed this to one line. I want to do 2 lines with the stockfish. I thought knight a6 is the best move. There it is. It's tied now. Now it's no. Knight a6. No, d takes c4. No, knight a6. So knight a6, total theoretical novelty. Very important theoretical position. Just kidding. This will never be played in a tournament game. C takes d5. Knight takes c5. Now what's the best move? e4. Computer's evaluation just went way up to the point where like white has an advantage. But I don't trust my CPU. I don't trust anything. I don't trust even my own CPU, Bob. That's how paranoid I am. What happened? What happened to builders? Why did you get message deleted? Mubot. Oh, no use of caps. Alright. Just claiming an advantage for white here. Interesting. Another tough player, Koto Amatsukami, who's not really Japanese. Severe punishment of a 5-second timeout from Mubot. I imagine the games that are Rybka must be in there. There are a few computer games, but that's fine. I mean, if you check any major database, like ChessBase, professional ChessBase databases, they'll probably be, you know, engine games played in like the World Computer Championship. I think they're very valid for analysis and whatnot. He used 3 emotes in a row. Here we go, the same thing. Yeah, it's kind of an auto setting for Mubot. I mean, the traditional way of trolling is by like using tons of caps. You ever saw like Gingy insult people in the old days? Like, you know, he did the classic like Donald Trump tweet type of thing. He'd be like, F you, and every kind of like 4-letter word he could think of in caps, and then double exclam and type it in to the command line. That's how Roman just like dissed people. And you'd always know it was him. He'd have 10 different accounts, but when this Trump-like tweets start coming across on the Internet Chess Club command line, you're like, oh, it's Roman. Okay. Roman for president. Roman would have been a funny president. Very similar to Donald. A little bit smarter, to say the least. Okay, bishop g7. Equally volatile. Bishop g7. What do we got here with the e6? That's kind of a weird move from... I've got to move fast, though. Koto Amatsukami is quite a quick player. We're just playing a Catalan where black has wasted time with e6. Actually, not such a bad move, though. Yeah, I mean, well, believe it or not, Bob, you know, computers did exist. Even Bobby Fischer used computers. They have existed for a while, but it's just Roman's style of typing in caps when you want to like yell at someone. It was always the classic. He'd always give himself away, you know. He'd always have an anonymous account online, and then he'd give himself away with the way he like typed in all caps when you made him angry. I was like, oh yeah. I wasn't sure about the openings, but you can tell usually by his openings. But then when he was typing in like F you and all other good stuff. Okay. I know who this is. And the ICC administrators always knew who it was. Oh, Roman's got another new account. He would borrow his students' accounts and use them to like play blitz, basically. I think he once used one of my accounts. He raised my rating like 100 points in one day or something. That's going back 20 years ago. Knight a6, rook c1. We got our pieces in the game. Type all your angry comments in small letters. You made a composition and sent it. He's a nice guy. He actually has a good sense of humor, but he has terrible anger management problems. This player also from Serbia, if I remember correctly. He's actually as high as 2000 in bullet, 1900 rapid. So basically I think we're going to play this game. At least time for one more, guys. Alright, that's just like spamming. Wait, why does anybody want to sell a pressure cooker? Why are you asking that here? Oh no. Please don't click on any links, guys. This guy's taking the name of like the Boston Marathon bomber or something. That's his new hero. Alright. Yeah, I know. That's the same guy who loves the Norwegian mass murderer. Slight problems. But I assumed he was European, you know. But now he's... I'm not so certain anymore. Okay, rook b8, just defending the bishop on b7. I think we need to take now, or forever hold our peace. But anyway, I don't want to talk about... I do not want to give attention to these moronic trolls. You were reading? You're reading the article. You clicked on that. Why would you click on something like that? That's scary, Bob. I hope you have good virus software on your computer. I guess you would, though. E takes d5. Queen b3, we just put additional pressure. And he plays knight c7. Queen b3 doesn't do all that much, so at the end of the day, we have like here maybe. Knowledge is power. What is Builder talking about? Okay, I have knight d7 threatened, forking the exchange. Forking the exchange. Don't often get to say that. I'm also defending, well, maintaining defense of d4, so that can actually, you know, be played without dropping my d4 pawn. I'm keeping him tied down to a7, although only Ivanchuk would take a pawn like that. And we also have knight c6, maybe in some positions. So Como, I want to call him, Koto played a very risky move here, giving up his dark square bishop. If I take with the d pawn, his knight comes to c5. That looks a little disturbing. Well, even that's probably good for white. Maybe he also has d4. White's better, even in that position. But f takes is a bit more tempting. He has queen g5 with counterplay? Alright, screw it. I don't know. If this is going to be safer, I'm going to do it this way. It keeps our pawn structure more compact. Two chains and no weaknesses. If I play f, that was my original intention, but he has queen g5, maybe some baloney. Probably both captures are good for white. structurally very bad for black. Of course, he also traded the dark squared bishop. He's got pawns primarily on white squares. He has a lot of weaknesses on the dark squares. So d4 was one move. This is another move. This is a flop. Queen here, knight e6, and then retreat the queen anywhere. I'm not interested in your stinking pawn, okay? We lose the queen if we take there, of course, with rook a8. But I think intuitively you need to kind of just know that sort of thing almost automatically. Now queen f2 or queen d2, r2 d2. d4, knight e4 with the happiness on f6. This is a really massive knight if he gets in there. So naturally he trades. Practical chances for survival here for black. I still like white a lot. I'm thinking of something crazy, playing f5, but he can probably do a number of good things there. And just keep it fundamental. He's gonna hang tough. Queen d4 check. What do we do? He's got like a5 locking in his knight. I wonder if he should have played that. Wow. I definitely would have traded queens if I were black, or played rook d8. Good chances for survival in the endgame. But this way looks kind of dangerous. It's this way or the highway. Where's his knight going? His knight doesn't have a good place to go. We get the rook swinging over here. That's a... Speaking of Gingy, I saw him do that once in a Chess Life game. Wow. But this guy is not messing around. But neither am I. I'm really serious. Koto Amatsukami, it's a very aggressive player, very fast. Carlson shaving. Kind of a funny concept. Alright. The queen is out of play. Oh, he found a defense. Oh no. No, he can't play b5. Conveniently can't play b5 here. The queen is out of play. We're blockading. I'm just blockading this pass pawn because it looks really scary. I just don't want it to move forward. Boop. We got mate coming. Quick mate on the horizon. Looks like g5 is practically forced. I don't think he knows what's happening here. He's just trying to move fast. Just getting mated. It's not enough to be fast. It's not enough to be Hungarian. You have to be good too. Alright. So, got time for at least one more game, guys. Where's my challenges? Bob, why are you so interested in everyone's sexuality? Cutting off the hair follicles internally. Alright. I need some help with getting nuance going on. Chicken. But I noticed that my hair has started to grow again. It's very interesting. Hormone therapy. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I have a theory that my hair is growing back. It's not a bad thing. Yeah, Magnus has the serious jaw going on. He looks almost Neanderthal. Queen c2. Play our favorite b6. He has to have Neanderthal in him. Each pawn sack equals beard growth. Now this is an interesting move, f3. I've never faced this. So basically, b6 not very useful in this type of position. Once white plays f3, when is that going to prove useful in this sort of situation? Almost never. c5 though, maybe we could try that. What's he going to do? What you gonna do when they come for you? E3, transposing to a really rope-a-dope Rubinstein system. That's not very inspiring, actually. A3, probably the best try here. And it's basically the question now, what do I do? Do I go back to A5, perhaps? Interesting. But if A3, bishop A5, yeah, maybe that makes sense. Totally makes sense. Why would I play anything else? If I take on c3, I just give him a good... Well, I mean, to be honest, bishop takes c3. That's possible too. And then knight c6. And he has to hold the d4. Alright, whatever. Well, he can sack the pawn though. See, wow, this guy's pretty good. Another guy, like the same rating. See, e4 was the way to go for it there, I think, sack a pawn. I had a game like this with Karsha, Hungarian IM. Probably, virtually, not probably, I think Karsha and I had the exact same position. That was a draw. An older Hungarian IM. Queen c2 in the what is it called? This same-ish variation. Kind of a rare line, but I think white could have tried to go for it here and sacrifice the pawn on d4. Maybe. That's a really incisive attempt. Play like... There's famous Geller game with white where he sacrifices this pawn on c4 and a same-ish Nimzo from, what was that? Zurich. The famous Zurich tournament. So Northern Europe was the domain of the Neanderthal. I think we should submit Magnus's DNA. What is that new DNA site called that's very popular? Everybody sends in their DNA. Are you Neanderthal or not? But who said that Neanderthals are less intelligent? Magnus is obviously brilliant. If he has to give up chess, he'll be a model. We extract Magnus's DNA. Maybe we just ask him to submit it, you know? You don't have to do it. 23andMe, right? Funny, like I met his dad and I played his dad. He doesn't look anything like his dad. Okay, that's another theory. Another conspiracy theory, Bob. We just go after this pawn, huh? Can we do this? Is there any reason why not? Let's target ye old pawn on c4. Feels very materialistic. So the DNA sites, it's a little like online poker, isn't it? Like, who's to say, like, it's even real at all? Regulators of DNA testing sites. Yeah, I mean, like everything else, it's rigged. JCS. They probably just, it's like a fortune teller. They just spit out like any kind of random ticket. It's basically the same thing as those old-fashioned antique fortune teller machines where you just like put in a coin and it spits out your fortune, spits out your DNA. You're equally likely to be like Chinese as you are, I don't know, African. Grabbing this pawn. I know it seems materialistic, and it is, but it's also important. We'll see after the game. Yeah, how could giving your DNA possibly go wrong? You know how Bob wants to get my DNA, right? Okay, that's another clip. Rook takes c4. We're just using the c file. This is very fundamental. The problem is bishop d2 could be kind of disruptive, so I think I'm going to have to pull this rook back and carve out c4 for our knight. Maybe go ahead and play d5. The chat has gone all over the place today. It looks like we'll have time for like one more game after this. Don't forget my simul on Sunday, guys. Can they test Ponda? Maybe I'm really Bob's father. Can you test Ponda? Can you test Ponda DNA? Sorry, I'm sorry, my voice was a little bit. Can they test my DNA to see if maybe I'm really related to red pandas, or I don't know. Very good position for black here. We're just winning another pawn. That should lock it up. Pawn to poaching hopefully is on the decline. Good try. I have to play a5. We've got a castle. Unfortunately, it makes my b pawn a little bit backward, which isn't optimal, but we're up 2 pawns, so I'm spazzing out with the mouse. Obviously, my DNA contributed to my spastic mouse skills. Do your worst, sir. There it is. He messed up my structure, as he should. It's correct. Now, well, I gotta be careful I don't get mated here. Let's hold on a second. If rook f3, maybe I should play rook c3. He's got bad intentions. Threatening perpetual already. Whoa, 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 whoa. That is not good. Chicken is not a chicken. This is a little too simplified though. Queen g5 probably wasn't the best move. Basically a cheapo. And now his d4 pawn is just hanging, so he's toast. That's 3 pawns and counting. It's not looking good. Yeah, okay. Looking for counterplay. Okay, let's see if we can get anything going here. Temporarily defending my pawn, but it doesn't defend my other pawn. Actually, he can go ahead and take the pawn on b6, but I think he's going to regret it. We should be able to just take that rook. This is mate, isn't it? Well, rook e3 isn't mate immediately. But whatever it is, it's not fun. Where's the mate? Queen e4 check to work. Sigh. Maybe I missed something better. Okay, last game, guys. Do we have one more challenger? It's been a crazy stream today with lots of weird discussions about sampling Magnus Carlsen's DNA. Guys, don't forget Sunday Simul. It's going to be 6:30 p.m. CEST. 30 players here on lichess.org. Sorry, 20 plus players here on lichess.org. 30-30 time control. Okay? So, have a great weekend, guys. And wish me luck in the game tonight. Bye-bye. So, Ponda's going to come with me and play some poker tonight. They're going to let him buy in. They're desperate for players. Where's our challenge? We need one more challenge, guys. Some days ago, you rambling about chess.com. Mr. Hess. Oh, another negative subject. No, we've had too much negativity today. I just don't like the site, and I don't like the fact that you can't report cheaters. Half of my opponents in a limited number of games were like cheaters. I mean, it's whatever, man. There's a lot of things I don't like about it, but I'm not going to rant about it. You know, it's a matter of choice. You can play on any chess site you want. Tell me more about Rex Singfield. Okay, let's play Bob in casual 5+3. I don't know. Do you have time for a very long list, or I could send you a copy. But if you like the other site, you know, whatever other site it might be, I mean, that's your prerogative. C3 knight f6. We're not here to diss anyone. I just honestly say what I think. Okay, this is kind of a weird move. Queen c2, interesting. It's a hybrid. It's like a Kopech system with the queen or something. So d5 e5 knight d7. This actually seems quite reasonable for white. Alright, Bob, let's go for it. This looks a little weird, though. Maybe I go out to excuse me, I want to think h6, but I want to say h6, but g4. Do we try this? It's very daring for black. Probably not good. You should just play e5 and you have a good game here. Queen kind of strangely placed on c2, though, in that structure. I could even play knight to g8. Speaking of Magnus Carlsen. Alekhine's defense with knight g8. No, it's okay. I just don't like any other chess sites but lichess, really. The only site I've been happy with in a long time. Software is great. You know, it's a free site. And it's not about just trying to make money for private people. I actually donate to support lichess a lot more than I would pay for being a member of. It's funny, you know. I donate more to lichess than I would pay to be a member of those other chess sites that charge memberships. Isn't that ironic? Alright, queen d6. Where do we put the queen here? Check on e6. I don't know, maybe I'll just go home. ET, go home. Because my queen will end up being a target to attacks from knight c3 and knight e4. Knight e4, knight b5 type of stuff. Queen c2, it's a little random. I wouldn't say it's entirely random. It looks stupid now because white's played c4. It doesn't make that much sense in this structure, for sure. I mean, Bob has a kind of dubious position here. He's just backward along the d file. Bob 0, Grishuk 1. I did a, what was it? Where was it I commentated this? I guess I did a lecture for chesslecture.com where a site I do work for still, where I talked about Nakamura versus Grishuk from from St. Louis, I guess. The only game I annotated from that tournament this year. But Hikaru got this backward pawn, and it was just like a really instructive game. A slightly different structure. Here even bishop f5 is probably good. At this point, I can go ahead and play that. I can play bishop h5. Everything's good. Okay guys, last game for today. I'm sorry if you just came to the stream, but it's time to go. So, nevertheless, Bob is not lost here yet, quite. Because knight b4, queen a4 check keeps him in the ball game. The proverbial ball game. He just has an unpleasant position, I would say. It's not that bad, actually. Because I can't lay siege to d3 quite immediately. How do you prefer to play against the Kopech system? Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, honestly, the only person who ever played it against me was Danny himself in a rapid tournament. I don't remember what I did. I wasn't fully happy with it. But it's another one of those things that's so rare that you don't even need to worry about it, to be honest. Okay, in your case you do, because there is. But I'm sure there's more than one good system. It would be very easy to research that. You've played Danny. Well, I'm not talking about this punk from chess.com. I'm talking about the author of the Kopech system. Dr. Danny Kopech. We actually did commentary together for a while on Internet Chess Club before he passed away. Now Black's just losing a piece. Always play g5, Bob. That's what Anand concluded yesterday. Dr. Daniel Kopech was an international master from Connecticut. He was a New England fixture for a long time, so someone who I knew, and was a decent player. But he invented the so-called Kopech system against the Sicilian. Okay, guys, but he passed away, what was it, last year, I think, around the same time as we lost Emery Tate, Walter Brown, lots of interesting people from the United States chess scene passed away in the last 2 years. That is it, guys. So Bob goes the way of... Your trolling was strong today, Bob. Congratulations. I'm out of here, guys. Don't forget to check out the Simul on Sunday. Please support the stream. What's up, guys? Support the stream. Didn't get any bit donations today. What's up with that? So anyway, we'll see you Sunday. We're going to have a bit war, basically. And I'm looking forward to it. Okay? So thanks everybody for watching. Bye-bye. Take care, guys, and I will see you on Sunday. Later.